Hello, this is Bridget with Divine Essentials. Alright, guys, so we are here with Starseed Shaman Podcast episode talking about starseeds and numerology. Okay, so I've said this before, I'll say it again. We are all coded in our own ways. We are all gonna resonate with certain things and others we're not. And whatever fucking fits, whatever feels right, internally, take that over the other stuff. Because if you're like, yeah, that's really doesn't make... Because I did it, like, this week was a perfect example. I downloaded, like, a numerology app, actually. And the things that they had as descriptions for the stuff that was, like, coming up made absolutely no sense for me. But every other thing that I've done with numerology has pretty much always come back like, yep, that makes sense. So don't ever just go somewhere and accept something unless it feels right. Like, if like I'm gonna undo that app, because that's the example too of, like, just because that place maybe says something sometimes that sounds great and you're like, oh, I do like that, doesn't mean that you should override all those other things that are like, no, that's definitely not me, because it's not obviously the one that's meant for you. So you don't want to be getting incorrect information or just, like, cherry picking your information, because you're better off to live in reality. Okay? So, now, the way that we do any of our numerology, obviously we need to know our numbers. So you may already know your life path number. I know a lot of people in the spiritual community are like, oh yeah, I'm a like, they know it. So if you know it, great. If you don't, you might want to just, like, pause, go over to Google and figure it out, because it's really not that difficult, but I will explain it. I know sometimes, though, like, hearing and seeing are two different things, especially when it comes to, like, math, okay? So basically we're using the Pythagorean calendar. It goes 1 through 9, and then underneath 1 through 9 is A through I, and underneath that is J to R, and underneath that is S to Z. Z is an 8. So those are the number thingies, all right? But then for your life path, all you need to know is the month, day, year you were born. So for me, the month was 5. The day was the 18th, so it's 18. The year was 1984, so it's 1 plus 9 plus 8 plus 4. Okay? And every time I've ever done that anywhere, it's always been 36, and then take that and add 36 to 9, and 9 would be my life path number. Some places, though, are weird. Okay, so this place here, one of the things that she said, because I know some people out there will get a 2, and some people will get a 22. So if you get an 11, a 22, or a 33, this is the time that we're accepting those, because they're here, listed. And there's descriptions for them, and descriptions of, you know, the starseeds connected to them, okay? So we're going to be covering the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, the Lyrans, the Orions, the Andromedans, the Venusians, Polarians, Martians, and I'm pretty sure I had another couple. Yeah, Reptilian, Anunnaki, and was there another one? I don't know. I think that might be it. We'll find out, I guess. What is this over here? Oh, Blue Avian. Yep, Blue Avian. We have Blue Avian. Alright, so Blue Avians and all these other guys connect to whatever your life path number is. So the life path, again, is that birth date and all of that added together. So, like, your day, the month, the year, boom. What does that add up to? If you get an 11, 22, 33, you can keep that. If you've got something else, that's fine. We have those for everybody. Then your soul urge. Your soul urge is your name, like your name. You would add Bridget Marie Rao, and you'd want to add up Bridget first and get a single digit for that. Then Marie, the middle name, get a single digit for that. And then the last name, Rao, get a single digit for that. Now take those 3 double digits. And this is another time that she says, like, say you get an 11 for your middle name or an 11 for your first name. You can keep those and then add that to the thing, if it makes sense to, and then the single digit or one of those master numbers is what they call them, 11, 22, 33. One of those could be your soul urge or just a sum of your vowels only coming out of your name. Okay, so what I did was I added up my whole name anyways and got the number for that. Then I did the vowels, because then I went underneath and I was like, all right, Bridget, so I is a vowel, E is a vowel, A is a vowel, IE is a vowel, so I like underline them, and then A and U are a value. So A, E, I, O, U, and sometimes Y are vowels that will be taken for your name. So you just add up those. Bum, 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 bum. And so if my first name is a 5, my middle name is an M, and my last name is a 4. Now, I also got an 11 version with that, but it didn't matter because it still added up in total as 6 for the soul urge. So my soul urge is a 6, my life path is a 9, and then for the soul expression is the sum of all of it. Okay, the sum of all of your name, which again, mine was a 5. So I had 956 for my numbers. But I think I've had it come back as 959 too. So I don't know. It could be done in a different way or a different calendar. I know there's a lot of different ways. I'm going by what this lady did for mine. So I have 956 for mine. You could have 1152, or you'd probably, the 11s and the 2s I feel like are kind of interchangeable. Only if you get the 11 first. But you still might resonate with information that connects to 2. Alright. So hopefully that makes sense. They have life path and expression in your destiny number. So basically the expression is your destiny number. They have the soul urge, which is like what your urge to do is, your person, like what I'm gonna do on this planet. And then they have personalities and inner dreams and all of this stuff. But for the most part, what we're doing for this is life path. Okay, so if your life path comes back, it connects to certain numbers, then we're like, okay, that's this. All right. So basically, I think the best way for me to do this, really, so people will be able to get through it and connect themselves to the right places or whatever, is I'm going to list off like Pleiadian 2, 11, 9, 22. Now this again could be life path, soul urge, or expression. That may mean that you connect to Pleiadians on some level, but I've got to say life paths are going to be the strongest link there. Also, after I give the description of the star seeds themselves, I'll be giving a description of the numbers themselves. Okay, so again, Pleiadians 2, 11, 9, 22. The Arcturians are going to be for 1, 7, and 4. And I will timestamp for the Pleiadians with the number, the Arcturians with the number, the Sirians with 3, 6, 9, 33. Lyrans are 1, 5, 11. The Lyrans 1, 5, 11. Orion 4, 8, 1, 22. 4, 8, 1, 22. Orion. And then Andromedan 3 and 5 for the Andromedan 3 and 5. The Venusian is 6, 33 and 9. The Venusian is 6, 33 and 9. And then I have Blue Avians 7, 9, 11 for the Blue Avians 7, 9, 11. And then we had Greys 4, 6, 7. Greys are 4, 6, 7. Reptilian is 1, 5, 8. Reptilian 1, 5, 8. Anunnakian, with the Anunnaki 4, 8, 22. 4, 8, 22. Anunnaki. The Martians were 9, 1, 11. Martian 9-1-11. Polarian 2-9-11. 2-9-11. Polarian 2-9-11. So, those are the numbers that associate to those places, okay? So, Pleiadians had 2, 11, 9, 22. Pleiadians who connect to 2, 11, 9, 22. This can also mean that 2, 11, 9, or 22 shows up in your life path, soul urge, or expression number. Okay? So if you see these numbers in any of those places, you may resonate with the information of a Pleiadian. You may be Pleiadian Starseed, or there may be ties to a Pleiadian Starseed. You may not resonate with anything to do with the Pleiadians, and that's again why I say trust within, because you could have connection to them, but maybe only one. Maybe it's like you were there one time, a long time ago, but every other time you've incarnated, it was to here, there, or everywhere else. That maybe even just as you got closer to this incarnation, you know, it was like these other ones were more important, or whatever. It was the last one you did, or it's the next one you're gonna do. Who knows how the world works, really? But you'll know for you. So basically, gentle and soft-spoken are usually things that the Pleiadian starseeds have about them. They're gentle, they have soft-spoken. I feel like they can also channel very, very well with their voice. Like, again, think of Pleiadian is connected to the constellation Taurus. Taurus rules the throat. It rules the voice. It rules luxury. It rules beauty. It rules feeling good, feeling sensual, being beautiful. You know, it's the goddess of love. So when you think of Pleiadian energy, you're going to connect those. When you think of Venus, Venus connects to the doves, the white doves, and guess what? Fucking Pleiadians are up there representing the seven sisters as the white doves as well. So they interconnect, they interweave, and I feel like a lot of the stories of the history, you know, the Greeks and this and that, they do talk about the sisters being there, and I feel like a lot of them basically represent what it's like to be a woman, the divine feminine. You know, they may be more so like, I'm going to be a hoe, or more so like, I'm going to be a lovey-dovey mummy, or more so like controlling over everything, or it depends on the woman, it depends on what she's been around, and it depends on the energy that is coming through. But even I've heard other people recently say within these last 2 weeks the thing about the imprint in the voice, okay? I've mentioned this before because people have asked, like, they've asked me while I was channeling answers about the voice. So the Pleiadians came through with that thing of like, it's an imprint, a Pleiadian imprint. And that's like accessing higher information. I bring this message through and I doubt it as the channel, because I'm always doubting everything when it has to do with me, because that's a good thing. It's not good to doubt everything all the time. Like, if I did it to the level where it was like, that's a bad thing, Bridget, I would never fucking post anything ever. I would never let myself share what's inside of me, which many people don't. And many people can do it. They just don't have the guts to do it because they're afraid of being wrong, or they're afraid of somebody being like, you're an idiot. And you just have to be like, okay, whatever, I don't care if you believe me or not. For the most part, most people who come to my stuff, if they just pay attention long enough, they're like, yep, she's not fucking faking it, and that's it. But they know, too, that I'm not, like, it's not like an all-day, everyday event. It's just, it's there, and I can't control it to, like, I don't know. It's like the TV shows when the people can't control the gifts. Yes, it's really real. We can't control it. But we can ask, and we can practice, and that will help it to get better and easier. So, yes, I heard a woman the other day talking about starseeds in general, and how a lot of them do carry the imprint in their voice. Those are usually people who are doing light language, doing some sound healings, doing some channeling with their voice. Now, again, number 9 is in here, right? I'm a 9, so I know a lot of the things connected to 9. They're humanitarians, they are empaths, they're sensitive, they're here to spread love. The Pleiadians are here to spread love. They're here to heal. They're into metaphysical information. They are often people pleasers to their own demise, and they are family oriented. So they will let their family kill them. And they feel different from the outside. They they have food sensitivities, anxiety, sensory issues, and basically they're here to deliver love. Sorry, I've been in bed for a couple days dying, but I think I'm getting better. I don't know. This might be the time I go to the hospital, but I'm not. It's not. It's all right. I'll be fine. So basically, those are the ones that they're here for. They're here to like deliver love. A lot of them have like the most people out, I feel like, that know about them. It's like the Pleiadians led the way, even in that sense, where I feel like the blue rays connect heavily with the Pleiadian energy. Blue rays are the first wave of beings that came in here. So you can be a blue ray and a Pleiadian. You can be a blue ray and a blah blah blah. You can be whatever, really. It doesn't matter. You can resonate with multitudes of things, because that's how this world is. And there's no limitation on creation. Oh wow, I like that. There's no limitation on creation. That should be like my catchphrase or something, like for my Starseed shamans, right? There's no limitation on creation. Yeah. Okay. Anyways, whoa. Let's see. I'm trying to decide what do I want to do with this information, because I was thinking about breaking it up into two, because first I have the Pleiadians, the numbers, and then I got the information that goes along with the blue rays, the indigos, the crystals. I think I'll make that one its own show. All right, the blue rays, the indigo children, the crystal children, the rainbow children, I'm going to do them on their own. But if you listen to this and you resonate strongly with information here, and then you watch that one, just, keep those in the boop-boops for your brain, okay? But I do feel like Pleiadians and blue rays are often connected. I resonate strongly as a blue ray, so I wouldn't be surprised if people who followed me or connected to my energy resonate with the blue ray. However, I know I do have a younger race, or I don't know what to call you, a younger generation underneath mine who are indigo, and I have parts of that indigo in me. I do, and I think there's probably others that have that in them. It's like, it depends where I am. Like, if you're picking on somebody that's weaker or whatever, then you're probably going to see the indigo come out of me. But for the most part, I'm the blue ray, the forgotten ray, like the one that's like helping everybody, like the wounded healer, like, I'm dying, but I still love you. Like, that's that one. And then the indigos are like, fuck you all, I'm never going to die. I can fight to my last breath. Like, just crazy. And then the crystal children are crazy, like, whoa. And then the rainbow are even more crazy, whoa. Like, the crystal children, a lot of them came through with, like, people being like, whoa, this is like autism, this is ADHD, they think that there's something wrong, and it's really that they're tuned in to a fucking higher dimension. They are not here. They're not here on this fucking level of reality with us. But you can connect with them telepathically. You can I've done it. I've been around children that were either diagnosed autistic, and I've seen them change too. I've seen them be like totally not on a spectrum, but then are. And it's like, what happened? And I think some of it is because of what the fucking world, like the people do here. But, all right, now, this is just coming in right now, all right? So, like, I haven't really thought about this, but basically, don't lose it, Bridget. I just had a really crazy thing. All right, they knew, all right, Pleiadians, whoever, someone, the levels out there, they knew what was going to be happening here with the shots and the fucking things for the kids. And so they prepared some way, I don't know, interfered, fucking higher divine intelligence, they know what they're doing, made it so that even when the kids got infected and left, like, their altered consciousness or whatever, it was actually tuning them into a higher dimension so that they could bring in the higher frequencies to bring in the shifting of the consciousness of the whole collective. However, a lot of people here, when they see it or they connect with it, they're doing the wrong thing. They're getting upset. They're getting sad. They're like mad. You know what I mean? Like mad. Like there's a shot that made my kid this way. Blah blah. But it's not a bad thing. So. But that's what happens with fear, and that's what they want people to do. They want people to be sad. They want people to be scared. They want people to give their power away and believe bad things. And they want customers, not, answers or healing the society. So make sure that you don't allow other people's way of looking at the world be your way of looking at the world, or automatically assume just because it's different it's bad, or just because it appears one way to somebody doesn't mean it is, though. It's like it could be a blessing, like when you spend time with a child that is really tuned into another dimension. You can see that, if you think about it, when you have connected with somebody that is not fully present with you in that moment, but they are. You can connect with them on a deeper level if you allow yourself to, and not shy away or look away or be uncomfortable, because it's just, there's no reason to. You're uncomfortable because of society, if anything. I grew up with my Nana, who took care of disabled children, and my uncles who were guys, and they would do stupid shit and sit beside the child that continuously shook its head yes and no, or back and forth no, and that was it. That was the only thing that would be happening for the majority of the time. So every once in a while they would sit there and ask her questions and always get the no, but they were making light of the situation. They weren't like, oh, this is so bad and sad, and it's like, it's just life. It's just, and that was that life for that person. But that person would always brighten up or be, more excited because of those times. So, is it wrong of them to do that, or was that more so a way to connect and bring in, joy and happiness for whatever length of time? Because the rest of the time, not everybody had time to spend just doing things like that, So. It's just everybody's perspective, I think. But anyways, don't write things off, because I always say, ignorance is bliss. Like, to not be wicked aware of all the fucking bullshit so many people are aware of. Think about how people get all upset about the stupid shit in their life. Like, I don't know what to wear, I don't have anything, oh my god, I'm so ugly, and I'm fat, and just stupid shit that don't matter. Compared to the big scheme of things. And then you have them come to teach you lessons. That shit really don't matter, guys. You're living on a one dimension of ego, and they teach people a lot, I think. But yeah, whatever. I guess there was a reason for me to share all of that. Moving on to the Arcturians, who had 174. 174. Arcturians, 174. They're into metaphysical, or math and science, and medicines, either or sometimes both, but they may be really heavily into the math and the science, or logic, and just doing sacred geometry. You probably get straight answer of what's 360 degrees times blah 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 blah. They'd be like, oh, it's under 2. I don't know. They've got symbols and shit. They are planners. They're good at planning. They're good at technology. They're telepathic. They probably read people's minds and freak them out. They are compassionate. They guard their feelings, and they guard themselves. They are analytical, logical thinking. They have a drive to lead. They are leaders, very strong, and also just good at taking information or people and organizing situations and everything that to do with them. I know a couple of Arcturian people. There's one person that I met them, upon meeting them, I was like, oh my god, they're Arcturian. Just by looking at them, like, they just looked Arcturian to me. I was like, you're Arcturian. It was a bald guy, like, so I think just that, because I've seen a lot of them, like, sometimes they come back with really, like, weird shaped heads or whatever, but, like, a lot of them are bald, even if it's a small, normal head, or a big head, or a shaped head, whatever, they all come back bald. So just the bald connection there was like, Also, they were, like, pretty large, like, tall, you know, like, taller than average tall, it felt like. And that's the thing, too. Some people feel bigger than they are. I don't know if that makes sense to you, but some people have that feeling or that sense, like, I am bigger than what my body looks like, or, you know what I mean? Like, you just feel them before you even meet them, or they have a presence about them that it's like, even they just built in with, like, a boundary, like an energetic one. I don't know, but hopefully somebody else will know what I mean. Basically, I feel like a lot of Arcturians have that presence, or that there's like a veil, like a veil around them, or something that's like piercing, and telepathic. It's like probing. It's like you may step back because you can sense that if you get too close, they're gonna know. They're gonna be in your brain. So you're like, I'm gonna stand over here where you can't get in. But yeah, when I met that person, they were that, you know, just larger than average, but like energy wise and physically they were tall and they were bald. So it's like, okay, these are all indicators of that energy manifesting in the physical because of how much it's present, which I think is what happens with a lot of the starseeds, is like you start to emanate. And I noticed when I looked at the videos of like me giving you guys the signs, like, or the synchronicity, like whatever, the like, these are this, like the Lyrans have this, I noticed that I took on a lot of the like characteristics, or like the what you would expect them to look like or whatever. Like when I did the Lyrans, I had like a feline present energy. My hair was curlier than normal because my hair is very straight. I don't usually have, I don't brush it. I mean, I brush it, but I don't like blow dry it and do all that shit that people do. I just brush it and let it dry. So it's very rare that you'll see like curls or anything, but that's only if I put it up when it was kind of wet or at the right moment, so that when I later take it down, it's like, oh look, I'm beautiful. That's just an accident that happens sometimes. But it did that, and it was like, each one I did, I felt like I was kind of almost, the color I chose, or just the way that like my makeup was, or just like the Sirian one had the dog fucking, I'm gonna just lay here and sleep the whole time. Like, those are weird moment things that I felt like came through to signify the energies. So you may even be somebody that can channel a lot of them, or you have a lot of them. But I feel that with people who are very much in their energy of one of those places, you'll often see the physical characteristics somewhere within them. I don't think it necessarily matters about like the color of the skin or the race or whatever. It's just there's going to be certain things that probably even when you get closer to people, you'll notice about them that maybe you don't notice right away. And it could also come out at different times. So the next ones we're going to talk about, Sirians, are 3, 6, 9, and 33. And again, at the end of all this, I will tell what the numbers represent. So there'll be timestamps on those too. And basically, the Sirians are intense. What does that say? Intense daydreamers. Like what? So they are the daydreamers, they are the dreamers, they are the ones that probably have ideas that are like, idealistic or like creative that not everybody else would have thought about or even tried or attempted, unless this crazy person is like heading it for everybody else and has a total vision. They know what they're talking about, we're just gonna do what they tell us to do, type of thing. Those Sirians are probably directing that. And they're the healers. They are also into metaphysicals. They are expressive with art or their creative way of expressing themselves. They have clothing that's different and creative. They deeply connect with the water and the ocean and the animals of the ocean, like the dolphins and the whales, and they know the dolphins and the whales from their dimension in Sirian energies. They know that the ocean is a portal to Sirius, or that it's a portal in itself. It is another dimension in itself. We live on the earth, which is one place. Next to this universe, that's another place. And with this ocean that takes us to another place. We know more about space than we do the ocean. That's a lot of information to be explored in there, but everybody's always looking out at the universe. But the universe is reflected right there. So there's stuff down in there too. That's another thing. If you are Sirian, you may have wanted to be like a marine biologist or whatever. When I was growing up, I didn't even know fully what that probably even entailed, but I was little and I'd be like, I'm gonna be a marine biologist. I couldn't even say full words, and I'm like, I'm gonna be a marine biologist. My dad had books by Dr. Cousteau, or whatever his name, Cousteau, Dr. Cousteau, was that his name? Something. He was like a famous oceanographer man, dude, that studied the sea. But back then, they only had books about stuff, so my dad had some books about it. He had another set of books, too, that was the dude there that's naked, but he's medical man naked, and he's on a wheel, Michelangelo type of thing. I don't know. He had a science series with that on it, and I remember those because I used to look at all his books when I was little. After my mom and him split up, I was always looking at these Jacques Cousteau, I don't know, Jacques Cousteau, and the Naked Man stuff. It was all science and weird things, but even that right there, that's a memory popping back into my brain, right? I don't know, that feels kind of Arcturian, but there's that sense about you, or maybe when you were a child, you knew, but you didn't, maybe, I don't know, your brain, you could wrap around big concepts or big ideas probably better than you could say it, and I think I still have that problem. It's sometimes my brain understands a lot thing, a bigger thing than I can verbalize, or a bigger thing than it's even able to be verbalized. There's no words to explain sometimes. You may feel that a lot and try to put it on paper, or try to say it in a poem, or write it, or wear it, or just be it, be expressive, creative, feelers, emotional, telepathic, deeply connecting, animal lover. You probably have a good humor. You're upbeat, difficult expressing feelings, which seems to just be a freaking thing that we all have anyways. But that's because of the way the planet's been. It's oh, you're gonna feel? No, you cannot feel. We take that away. So, but you are probably more emotional than others. There is that energy of the ocean and the water. So again, those are emotions. That's, our feminine intuition. It's our sense of I feel sad or whatever. But you may not always express it unless you're drawing something or writing something like a poem. You may not even share it, even in your art. It may just be something you do for yourself. Or you could journal, or maybe you even have places that you share things in an anonymous way, because it's probably healing for other people to see it. That's the thing. I feel a lot of Sirians, if you are a Sirian trying to figure out what should I do with myself, or what do I want to do, what do you like to do? If you like to draw and stuff like that, you're probably drawing sacred, geometrical, weird activation art, and even if it doesn't look perfect to you, doesn't mean that there's not people out there who won't see it in the way that it is, of a healing tool, and accept it. And you could probably create some sort of way of doing that for them, and also being lucrative for yourself in a way that's like balanced so that you can survive and thrive and people can get better and heal with whatever it is you're offering. I know it's hard for the starseeds and the light workers sometimes to charge for gifts or feel comfortable putting prices on things because I don't think a lot of us come from that, but we are here where that is necessary, and a lot of people tie value to the price of things. So when you underprice yourself, you're undervaluing yourself. And I know I'm one to talk because I fucking undervalue a lot. Like I ran onto something the other day and I was like, are you kidding me? Like somebody's charging $88 for things that I don't even go near that on, and I'm like, what is wrong with me? Like, you know, like I don't think I need to go to that level of like being there, but I also shouldn't be where I am because it's like not on the item. If theirs at 88, then I should probably be like at 44 at least. But it's hard when you are a starseed or you're compassionate, you care, you want to help everybody. But there's different ways to do it, especially like for those of us with like Etsy. A lot of the like ways to pay, you know, can be set up to be over time. Like they can make payments over time. I'm also somebody that if I know it's somebody that's like been around and they've bought something from me or whatever, I will let people do payment plans on things or give them deals on things. I try to remember to like do stuff to help people. Like somebody, I gotta send money back to somebody right now, I forgot, or give them a coupon so they can use it on something, you know what I mean? But like I try to keep track and help, and like a lot of times when people order stuff, if my sister like lets me know on the decks, because my sister does all the deck orders, but if she reminds me, and I'll remind her to remind me, when people order like 4 or 5 decks or something, a lot of times I will send them a coupon or give them money off of something. But if I don't know about it, because like she doesn't tell me sometimes, like she doesn't tell me when the prices go way up, and I'm like, Chrissy, I gotta fucking change the prices on shit so I'm not losing money. So yeah, sometimes I just don't know, and it's like it hurts me too. But you can always let me know as well, because I can see on Etsy specifically when people order something, it will show me how many things right there on it. On my website I probably pull it up, but it's not like a hassle to do. With on Etsy, it's like it just shows me every sale a person's ever had, so I try to take care of them. But anyways, something I feel like maybe in that information the Sirian person needed to know, one of you guys, I know a lot of you guys want to do this, or you are like creative, or you are artists, but you don't know how to make it your career or something, or you don't know how to put yourself out there because you don't have enough like compassion for you. So if you're somebody that's like stuck or not showing yourself, do it. Even if you can do it anonymous, you know, you don't have to say your name. You can create a Google email address and call it Sirian Soul, and then put out a Sirian Soul YouTube channel that's like small little videos that's basically showing your art, and in the background could be music that you created or somebody else that you want to collaborate. See, the collaboration too I think is big right now for people, and I think Sirian energy would be the type that could collaborate with others and make something. Like if you and an Arcturian collaborate, it's probably going to be amazing, because they could be like the logical, like, wow, I'm gonna like plan out like our freaking when we should do this and when we should do that, you know. People who are motivated, people who are willing to look up the information and help, you know, like let's figure this out. Sometimes it's better to figure things out together. It's hard to employ or to take action on everything, especially if you're dealing with people that don't know what it means. So try to find people that are into what you're into, but also, you know, come up with a plan to be like, let's figure out what you could do and I could do to work together so that this makes the most sense. Like if I'm the very emotional creative one, I should probably make the poem, but if you're the very logical like analytical one, you should probably design like the, you know, technological pages and things that we need to create. Maybe I'll make the artwork for the page, but you can like figure out how to put it all together, when I should be sharing things, how I can share them, where I can share them, you know, like the not so much the designing of a website, but like the creating of it, all the logical aspects of it, like making a menu that makes sense, and just those things that a lot of times people who are very creative don't know. So you can even go on places like Fiverr and order that. Like, I need someone to help me make a website menu because I have no clue. And they'll probably do it for free because it's not hard. But you could have somebody help you with those basic things to get yourself out there. So collaboration with emotion, working together with somebody around you, is probably a beneficial thing for you if you are Sirian. You know, you might need somebody to kind of be that, like, other aspect of things for you, and that may be another block for you, is why you have not gone to dive into something. So you may benefit from, like, a course, or from some sort of, like, coaching thing, or something that's going to help you, like, take your hand and just set you up on, like, a plan or something, or even just show you, like, this is the, like, the, what do you call it, like a step of each list of items that you just definitely need to do, and then keep doing. And then once you're done with that for a while, things should be looking good. So yeah, you could even probably get like a checklist of items that you would need to get started. I think I'm going to start trying to get things like that out more. I have a lot of stuff I've made that I haven't shared, and even if it's just like a PDF download for like $2, at least it's there, people can get it. So I'm trying to get more of my digital stuff out onto like my Etsy shop and stuff like that, but there are things like that already out there that you could go Google, download right now, and have the checklist of the things that you need to do to get started as a whatever you want to be getting started as. But Lyran is next. So the Lyrans are 1, 5, and 11. Oh my god, it was 44, 44 when I looked up. 44, 44 for the Lyrans. So 4444 may be important to you guys. You may have something significant for that in your life. 4 is significant to your foundation, and having like that platform, okay? But the Lyrans are fiercely independent. They are athletic. They like to exercise. They like to move. They like to be like in shape. They like exotic food. They like to travel. They are, I don't know what that says. What does that say? It's a blah, 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 blah. I don't know what that says. They like to travel and explore. I don't know. They get distracted easily. Something gods. I don't know what. Risk takers. They like to move. They need more sleep. They like to go to social places and be like out in the presence of others, but they prefer to observe rather than to partake of things going on. So they may go to a party and sit there and just watch everybody from, you know, the corner. I don't know what, there's 2 things in here that I have no idea what I wrote, but I know from my own like interactions and stuff, they have a golden hue or frequency that carries within them or around them, or even just connecting to like the Lyran beings like out beyond here. They have gold energy, and they always have like golden dust show up with them. They are very, very fast at manifesting, but that isn't always a good thing because they can manifest good and bad. They are royal, regal-like. They are, you know, connected to ancient Egypt. If you look at ancient Egypt, you see the Sphinx. You'll see the different things out there that are like a statue of a lion, half human. That is basically representations of Lyrans. They're half human, half feline version of themselves. And a lot of Lyrans have that type of look. Their feline, you know, presence about them. They do have a tendency to feel like they don't have a home, or they can't find home, or they're never going to be home. That's because their home was destroyed during the Galactic War. So they may never feel at home, or they may feel like something just sad, you know, like something's not okay. But they also could be very cheerful and upbeat and bright if they are doing the right things around the right people. They could have a tendency to either do really good and be like proving, you know, themselves and showing up strong and building, or they could just deteriorate and tear everything down around them. And there's like it's like either or, you know what I mean? It's like, we can't, you know, just deteriorate a little bit and hold it together the rest of it. It's usually one extreme or the other. But they, you know, are very strong, independent leader type energy. People usually respect them. People usually like them or feel like magnetized by them. They're bright, but they can dim because of pain, suffering, sadness, depression, whatever. But that's pretty much, you know, a common thing for everybody. It's just that I think the Lyrans, it's so much more noticeable or something because of the shift, or the bright one moment, not so much in the next. Like, wait, what happened over there? I thought they were like building this fucking monster thing. What happened to them? And they're like, no, I'm mad or sad or upset, focused on something bad. So they just gotta focus on something good and they'll be alright. But, you know, they have that strength. They also, a lot of times for me, can remind of the, like, the ancient Greece, like Sparta, like that type of stuff. Like just wearing like a white fucking sheet around and a shield, golden shield and a white sheet. Those are them, woman or man, ready to fight, ready to Sparta and kill. Probably bulls, which are the symbol of the Pleiades and Taurus, that constellation energy. And they are the lions, the ones with the roar, and you'll find them on ancient depictions all the time together. They are good working together with, like, you know, that type of energy, because the Taurus bull energy is more earth energy, more grounded energy, like very like, you're not gonna move me, good luck moving me. Like, my feet are fucking planted firmly here, fuck you. And the lion isn't that intimidating because it's just so much smaller, and it can like bite and try, but it's probably not, like, it's of all the animals to like go, you know, fucking attack or whatever, they're probably not gonna want to go mess with the bull and the horns and all that shit. But occasionally it might happen. They just have to get a good shot. But they're better off working together. And the bull is stubborn enough to, like, you know, take care of the places that that lion would be like, you know, too distracted by the next thing, or, you know, looking for the easier way out, or, you know what I mean? They have confidence and all the stuff behind it, but they just don't have the, like, the willpower to get to the finish line. So they could start off strong, and then here comes Taurus to close up the end, or to push through to the other side. So if you're trying to build something as a Lyran, maybe you need some Pleiadian help. But we're going to move on to Orion. And Orion connects to 48122. So 48122. And again, this could be life path, soul urge, expression number, whatever you would like it to be. We're at 5151 for Orion, 48122. And they are grounded, hardworking. They are builders and leaders. Opinionated, not easy to persuade. Self-controlled. Entrepreneurs. They task and goal-oriented. They hold logic above all. They are not very emotional. And they are street smart, savvy, you know. They get their shit together on, like, the 3D world. Like, they're not going to get fooled very easily. You're not going to get played very easily because they're onto you, or they're playing you because their street, smarts is getting them into trouble. Orion's one of the ones that I feel like a lot of people don't like because of the war bullshit, Lyra got destroyed and Orion and Lyra was the war. So people automatically are like, Orion's mean. Just it's the natural instinct, especially if you're an empath or sensitive person, to feel bad for the underdog or to feel bad for the one that got his ass kicked, like, oh man, their whole world got blown up. But we don't really know for sure exactly all the details, Lyrans can be a little egoic, with their flashy flash. So who knows what they were flashing to get hurt. We don't want to jump to conclusion. I'm not saying they deserved it or anything like that. I'm not picking sides. I'm just saying that there may have been things we didn't know about the whole thing. Also, when people tell the history, it's his story against his story. That's why we need to have justice, balance. We gotta look at things from both sides of the freaking sides of the places. We can't be like, instantly, because I can guarantee there's people involved in a war right now that don't want to be, they're like, why are we doing this? I don't want to fight. I don't want to fight you. It happens because there's no choice sometimes, or it happens and only some of the people are even doing it, and it's like the other people are like over here, but they're all categorized by just where they live or the color of their skin or whatever. Like, this has happened in our history so many times. So try not to immediately write people off just because they're this or that, or they came from where, or blah, 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 blah. They're all blah blah blah. We don't want to categorize everybody always into anything, because that's black and white thinking, all or nothing thinking, and that's a bad way of thinking, because it usually leads to bad ways of feeling and focus and separation, and it's one of the big problems for this world. But it's been orchestrated since the day you were born, like, oh, these people are this and these people are that, and you believe it because you're just human doing your thing. That they are builders, they are leaders, they're opinionated, they're not easy to persuade, right? So like, they're gonna be the ones taking control of a situation. They are entrepreneurs, so if you want to tell them what to do, it's probably not gonna work out because they're doing it themselves. They're gonna be, the ones that are figuring things out because of the facts. They don't want to invest their emotions into stuff easily because they don't want to get hurt, and they probably feel a lot of the hate that's generated from people in, or that like being judged energy before they have a chance to like show themselves to other people, because other people just immediately like classify them, even though they don't know, they may not have any knowledge about the wars and stuff like that, but there's just some energy that this person emits, some frequency that they carry that could make people, just feel like off, like, I don't know if I can trust you or not. They may not say that to you, but you may feel it. Or you may just have weird interactions with people where it's like, why are they treating me differently than they're treating other people? So that would make somebody become street smart, reading other people, being the type to become more focused on logical, like not feeling type of things, because they've probably been burned every time they didn't, or they got hurt when other people just assumed, basically, instead of getting to know them. So that is the Orions. The next one is going to be the Andromedans. We've done Pleiadian, Arcturian, Sirian, Lyran, and Orion. And we're moving on to Andromedan, which could have the numbers 3 or 5 for any of those places, but your life path number would probably be the most significant of like, wow, that's probably really like a big indicator of me being connected to that. Doesn't have to be, but it could be. So, however it is. But Andromedans are easygoing, laid back, they're easy to talk to. They act and look childlike sometimes. They love freedom. They like to explore. They could be difficult to commit You know, they don't want to maybe settle down because they want to travel and go around the world. They avoid conflict. They are very carefree, so they probably don't really care too much about anything to have a conflict, but if there's one coming, they're going to avoid it. They're very spiritual, and a lot of times will have work connected to that, or they could be very creative and have creative type of work, or they might mix the two together, creative, spiritually, working, you know, like some of the stuff that people do with like energy art, or light language, or something with activations and light codes, or singing, or, you know, a talent that they possess. Or they could be an energy healer, like a Reiki healer. I always say that they're like the Reiki workers of the Starseeds. One thing I didn't mention, well, I mentioned the Lyrans being like feline, but the Andromedans have like this white energy about them, where it's like, it may show up, because everybody sees differently. So when I go carry people up to Andromeda, or to the Andromedan frequency, and I'm like, okay, what do you see? They might see something white, like a dress, or hair, or the body, or the color of the skin, or white whatever, the dove, the blah blah blah, something white. But somebody else may see something white, but it showing up like in another one of those ways. So it's energy, it's how we interpret it. One person could see the doves, one person could see the white hair, one person, like, and that happened when I took people to Andromeda. We did like an Andromedan activation. The woman Nikki that I wrote about in my Mott blog post on my website, Is Your Heart as Light as a Feather, Nikki came to that event, and it was like, and a couple days after I wrote that blog, I found in my memories like the event that I shared for it, like on Facebook, and I was like, oh my god, what are the chances I'm talking about it like 4 years later? But when she came, everybody that night, I would take everybody on like a journey, and like, you know, 12 to 15 people would come, and they'd lay on the floor, and I would play the bowls and the things, and I would guide them with my voice. And, you know, after an hour of going out there and everything, they'd come back, and I would go around in the circle and ask them if they wanted to share anything, if they felt anything, did they pick up anything, did they fall asleep, whatever. And a lot of the people had weird, crazy experiences, like seeing light, or hearing this, or seeing that, or whatever. And that woman Nikki had a very close like encounter with the beings that had white hair. So she ended up dyeing her hair like, you know, that like white color. And it was right around the time where people were starting to like do that, you know, more often. And it was just cool to see how like that frequency showed up differently for everybody there, but it also came through so much similarly, enough for everybody to like feel like almost just like they were getting confirmation from each other's experiences of the fact that, oh, you saw white too? White was important for them, and them, and them, and them. Like, it was, everything was white, everything was bright, it was like light. You know, everybody keeps saying the same thing over and over about it. So everybody else that had that happen beforehand was like, oh my god, yeah. Gave them the confirmation they needed. And sometimes that helps people. I think Andromedans may be the ones that have these gifts, have that ability to do that stuff, but they're probably more shy than the average, you know? Like earlier I was talking about the Sirians, like getting themselves out there, putting themselves out there, believing in themselves to like share their creative expression. I can see that them not really giving a shit about what people think about them so much to the level or anything, like they will put themselves out there. It's just that I think they need like the logical aspect of it so that they can figure that out, you know, and like not get lost in it. The Andromedans are the ones I would feel like would be like really like nervous, really hidden away, don't want to put their face out there, don't want people to think anything bad, or, you know what I mean? They're just like, oh my god, no, I'm scared, I'm nervous. It's just a natural, some people have that, some people don't. But I think if they could overcome that, they would probably be very happy. And one of the ways to overcome, you know, fear of your gifts, of using your gifts or putting yourself out there, is to do it with people for free. You know, at first, don't get into the habit of doing it all the time, but do it a couple times. People for free. And then, once you realize, like, wow, they liked it, it worked out, they really appreciated it, and it was great, then you have confidence in your gift to deliver, and you won't feel so bad about doing it. You won't be so hard to put yourself out there, because you'll get confident, boosted from people's responses. So, that's my energy for the Andromedans. We're going to move on to the Venusians at 636, and, oh my god, you guys have 633-9 for the numbers, for the Venusians. I've never talked about Venusians before because I don't know. I didn't. I did the Pleiadians, Arcturians, the Lyrans, Andromedans, Sirians. I also did the Vegans on my series of stuff. I put the Vegans with the Lyrans, but I never got a chance to do the Avians. I never got a chance to do the Orions, and I definitely didn't do these guys because I didn't really ever think about it. It's not that I don't think that they exist or anything like that. It's just like it hasn't really felt like it's a separate thing for me, I guess, or I never really thought about it to do so. But I know there's a lot of them out there too that people connect with, that like new names that I've never even heard of or connected to or whatever. But back when I was channeling a lot, like, you know, at every fair and on weekends and like for everything that I did, you know, it was like doing a live event. I'd be channeling messages from then, and I'd go to everybody and do a message. A lot of stuff would come through. So sometimes I would get origins unknown, or that like they were so freaking far away, they were beyond here. Occasionally I would get grays or like, you know, interference from them, like feeling like there's something going on with them or whatever. But I never really tried to tap into anybody specifically in those levels either. But anyways, Venusians are 633-9. They are sensual. They are passionate. They are nurturers. They are compassionate. They are powerful healers. They're very attractive. They're very feminine. And they could be very masculine on the flip side of that, but still be very attractive and very sensual and passionate. And it's basically like, you know, when you think of Venus, or you think of, you know, that energy of Venus or the goddess of love or Aphrodite, that is this energy. This is the one that comes out naked from the shell. And is just the most beautiful sexual creature that has been sent for your pleasure, and she's here ready for you as a pearl in the shell. And she could be female too, because it depends on you. Are you the male or the female? What do you want showing up on your fucking shell? Like, it's a fantasy, it's your dream come true. She's awesome sauce with her beautiful flowing hair, or he's amazing with his big strong everything. And I guess that's the energy that they carry. I don't know them very like intimately, because I don't know for sure. I'm thinking of a few people in my brain, which I think is a clear knowing type of thing. And I can kind of see, alright, it's like Mariah Carey, alright, I think that would probably be a Venusian. Just that, like, one way that it could show up is in that way of, like, just a diva, you know, like, oh my god, I can't do that, no way, I'm not doing that, somebody do that for me. And they're like, okay, queen, we'll do this for you. She just owns the energy. And people listen, or fall to the, like, oh, okay, you're a thing that's gonna make me act this way. What's her name? She died. I wanna be loved by you. Who is that? Marilyn Monroe. There you go. She was one. She had the president. Like, okay, Miss Marilyn. But also can be, I feel like because of that, people don't realize, like, how people can treat people sometimes who are beautiful. They assume they're dumb, or they assume that they're whores, or they jealous of them because they just aren't that, or they want to be that or feel that way, but they don't, and so because they don't, they can't accept that other person. They even know it maybe sometimes that like they're like being mean because of who it is or how they are or whatever, they don't want to be it, but they still can't help it sometimes. Especially older women, I find it's like when they start going through the time where they're not feeling beautiful anymore, or they're starting to shift their feelings within, possibly hormonally, or maybe whatever is happening for them, they can become worse about things, or just worse about themselves. So because of that, like, inadequacy of themselves, anybody that triggers that about on the outside of like, oh my god, they get even worse. And I think my mother had a lot of that in her life with people, because she grew up quickly, like physically, like my dad and her dated when she was really young. They met when they were like 9 and 11, and the first thing, like one of the first things that my nana ever said to her was like, your body developed before your brains did. And you know, she had a beautiful body and a beautiful face, and she was well liked because of her beauty, but because of that there was a lot of assumptions and hate, just because that's what people do. So if you were to resonate with the energy of the Venusian, you'd probably resonate with that on the level of understanding it, of being like, yeah, sometimes people are mean to me and I don't understand why usually, but if it's a lot of times it's because you don't know, like, oh shit, like people are jealous of me, you know, and you could be very jealous too. Like, you could get jealous about things because you may be made to feel inadequate other than the way you look. So if you don't feel like you're looking your best, you might lose a lot of your confidence, or you may place a lot of emphasis on it or something. It depends on how people have treated you, depends on like the way you grew up, what you saw, how, like, you know, how you are inside internally. I think as people grow up, they might be able to learn, you know, the value, or realizing like not to blame people. Like we don't blame people when they're ugly, right? Like, not like, oh, that's your fault. Like, no. So don't blame people who are beautiful either. Like, oh, like they're like, or make them feel bad for even embracing beauty. Like, my sister will put on makeup and nice clothes and curl her hair and stuff, and put on a cute outfit and likes it, and goes out into the world, and people are rude to her because she's like like bubbly and sweet. She's not being mean to other people. Like, she's usually fucking picked apart by the time she comes home because people are so fucking rude. But it's not her fault. Like why are we just like mad and mean to people that are not like what is it? What do you want them to do with themselves? Just not exist, hide it, like not ever look good because whatever? Like, do you want them to just be miserable? I don't know. I don't get it. But I think others who have that energy or feel connected to it would probably understand what I mean. And it's even hard to talk about it because people can get triggered by like hearing, if they're the type of person that does it, they may get triggered about hearing about people who do it because they'll know that they do it and be like, meh. But it's like, you'll be so much more better off to just celebrate everybody and be good and happy. Like, some people could be physically not the way that you would expect people to see beauty, right? But if they're the right way inside internally, they are going to shine a certain beauty that people are going to see, regardless of what they actually look like or how they show up. And you see it happen with people too, like they go through like a makeover. It's like they change their internal system and people perceive them in a new way when they stop being mean, when they stop being rude, when they stop letting the ego drive them. You know, as long as you're not intentionally doing something to hurt other people or doing something like maniacal, then you're usually all right. And even very beautiful people, they could be sexy or whatever, but they can lose that just by being hateful or spiteful or mean or whatever. Like, I've seen plenty of women that looked really nice or whatever, but then as soon as they like speak, you're like, oh, never mind, that's not a beautiful person, that's a fucking evil monster. It's just, beauty comes from within. Sometimes you can have the physical traits, doesn't mean that you're necessarily beautiful though. So try to be it on both levels if you can. But we're going to move on now.
Okay guys, so I just finished editing the first part of this where I have the Pleiadians, the Arcturians, the Sirians, the Lyrans, the Orions, the Andromedans, the Venusians. I'm going to be moving on to do the Martians, Pleiadians, Anunnaki, Reptilians, Greys, and Blue Avians, and then I will do the numbers individually, what the number 2 means, what the number 11 means, you know, like from the place that I connected to all of this information from. And I do plan to make a separate video to go into the blue rays, indigos, crystal, and rainbow ray energies as well, and information about that. But that's going to be separate from this whole thing here. And this is going to be the end of part 1 that covers all of those guys. So, I'm sorry it's taken me so long to get this out and get all of this stuff together for you all. But it's been a difficult couple of days. I spent 2 days in bed. I was so confused when I woke up. I didn't know what day it was, what time it was. Just still dealing with a lot of, you know, ups and downs with pain and stuff. So, hopefully this is good enough to get you started, and you've probably taken away something beneficial, I hope, and the rest of it is coming. These are also all ones that I've never discussed on my channel or anything before, so I'm gonna believe that most of you have already gotten your information for what you probably connected with most as a starseed, but if not, others are coming. Okay, in Mune, namaste.